Hello everyone, I'm the Solo Gamer. Today I'm going to be interviewing the community manager for Legends of Aethereus, which is an RPG co-op game, Anthony.
Hi Ryan, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. It's been a while.
It has indeed.
Well, since we've done an interview.
Yes, it has.
So Legends of Aethereus, huh?
Yes.
So do you want to explain a little bit of what this actually is?
Well, we've been described by a lot of places as an MMO. We're not. Just want to make sure that we get that out. We've actually been confused as an MMO a couple times. We are a 4-person co-op capable with multiplayer online and co-op and the like. Third-person action RPG. So we have a lot of really cool stuff as far as our systems and designs and mechanics. You can play single player. There's a really good single player campaign, and then you can do PvP and like arenas and the like. And then we have co-op questing with up to 4 players. So we are a hack and slash sort of mild fantasy third-person action adventure RPG. That's kind of how you would go about just describing us.
Awesome. Now, the combat is a little bit different in this game, in which it's physics-based, right?
Correct, yes. All of the weapons actually need to be aimed, the ranged and the melee, everything, including like the melee weapons have an arc. There isn't just, tab target, lock onto something, press 1 and roll dice. In Legends of Aethereus, you draw your sword and you swing your sword, and if you miss, you miss, and if you hit, you hit. And then where the physics system comes into play is we have 3 different types of damage: aether damage, shock damage, and impact damage. Aether damage, I guess we can go over a little bit later, but to sum it up, it's kind of like, I guess you could say it's our version of magic, really. It's because we have things called aether gems, and if you attach them to weapons, they do aether damage. So you can have a sword that sets people on fire. But as far as the actual physics parts are concerned, I mean, who wouldn't want a sword that sets people on fire?
I know, right?
But as far as the actual physics part is concerned, that's where the impact and shock damage comes into play. So weapons have a specific amount of impact and shock force that they do to your enemies and to your players, and that's where knockdown and stun comes into play. And of course, the weapons change those stats depending on what they are. A mace has a lot more shock than impact, believe it or not. A sword kind of the same, really kind of shock and impact damage. So I think we have a really amazing combat system because also the movement is really nice. So you have direct control over your character at all times, and we have kind of, I guess you could say, sort of a context-sensitive movement system where I can press my left mouse button and swing my sword, or I can press W space and left mouse button and the character lunges forward, and that's the type of combat system that we really wish a lot of RPGs had. It's based on physics, it's based on skill, it's based on aiming your attacks. We get dodging, sidestepping, rolling, all that good stuff, and then everything is WASD with space in your mouse, so it's all right there as far as your movement and attacks are concerned.
Right. The movement and the combat are definitely, unique in its own.
Well, thank you. We're glad that everybody thinks that because we kind of like it.
Yeah, no, it's great. So Legends of Aethereus has a rich backstory behind this game. Can you explain a little bit about that?
It does, and I really don't want to give too much out. I can say that when you start the single-player campaign, you begin life as a newly recruited member of the Nexus City-State Guard. I'll let you guys play the game and do the intro, which explains it, and there is a rich story. Legends of Aethereus's timeline is based off of multiple things called Skyfalls. Aethereus is a completely different planet, by the way. It's not Earth. So they had 3 different Skyfalls. The third Great Skyfall was the most recent one. That's where aether gems and light come from, and you're going to be meeting characters, you're going to be searching for things, and beginning your life as part of the Nexus City-State Guard. And the Nexus City-State is on an island south of one of our continents up topside. But again, I'd really rather not give too much away. I just tell you guys that I think we're 30-40 hours of gameplay on the actual quest line itself before you get into procedurally generated quests.
That's awesome. Yeah, the story is really, really, really in depth. It's really nice. But you said something about the Nexus, so that's your city-state, right?
Yes, the Nexus City-State is where you do everything. It doesn't start out as yours, of course. And I don't really know if you could sort of say later on down the road that it becomes yours, but That's your base of operations. So all your crafting, your player apartment, your access to the arena, while you're in the single player mode, all that stuff happens from the Nexus City State, and all of your expeditions and quests take place on the continent that is north of the island that the Nexus City State is on. And so, again, the city state is your base of operations, and everything, all of your between questing and expedition stuff takes place there.
And statue building.
And statue building, yes, you can make statues of yourself.
Yes.
Who does not want to make statues of themselves out of bronze and be like, I am a bronze god.
Worship me.
Yeah, exactly. Worship me. There's one of the, I don't know if you can show this later on down the road, probably, but there is a really awesome, I can't remember it off the top of my head. One of the stances actually kind of has the character just pointing a finger towards the ground, like, kneel before me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, the statue making thing is really, really quite awesome. And, we might do some more with that later on down the road, too.
So besides the initial quests, there are procedural quests. How does that really work?
Well, when you get to Nexus, you've got 3 quests to do from the captain of the guard, Alana. She's, awesome. I guess you could consider her one of sort of the main protagonists, really, as far as NPCs are considered. That and you are the main protagonist. But she, once you've done 3 quests for her, another NPC opens up, the inventor, and then you do 3 quests for him, and then there's this lady standing on the docks, and she starts generating procedural quests for you to go and do. She's always got something for you to do, which is great for replayability and the like. And procedural quests and the main quest lines, again, all take place on the main continent, again, north of the island. And, we really, really like the whole procedural quest generation system because it does, give us a lot of really awesome content outside of our main storyline for you to just go off and do things without, if you really don't want to spend a few hours going through the main storyline, you can just go talk to the lady on the docks, and she's always going to have something for you to go and just goof off and do.
So Legends of Aethereus has an in-depth character customization. How does that compare to other games of this type?
When you start the character customization, you can choose your class, of course. There are 2 in the game. There are more coming. The Inventor or the Officer. We can get into them a little bit later. And you choose male and female. And then you get into sort of, how muscular your character is. We don't have sliders for like height and individual body parts yet, but much later down the road, we may or may not add additional things to the creator and further additions to the game down the road. But then you can get in depth with, we do have a full-on facial feature sculpting system, so you can zoom in on the face and literally there's sliders for everything. You can decide, how deep your cheeks are or your chin, the typical stuff you see in games like Skyrim and the like, where you have all the sliders that you get to handcraft your face, which is nice. And then you get, your hairs and your colors and skin colors and eye colors and tattoos and war paints and colors and all that kind of good stuff. And you try to really make something that you can connect with and that is representative. And we're not going to ignore it. Even though the game is released eventually, like I said, we will probably, do more with the character creator.
So there are currently 2 classes in the game. Are there any plans to add any more?
Yes, 2 more. The Estrographer and the Animist. When they are coming, I cannot tell you. It's soon. I'm not sure whether it's Valve soon or Blizzard soon, but soon. We got to be careful which one of the soons that we use there.
Right.
But and we do have 2 classes in the game: the Inventor and the Officer. Officer is all about skills that sort of control the battlefield, like putting punji sticks down and barriers and the like. And the Inventor is all about blowing stuff up. The Inventor has mines and rockets and sticky grenades and timed bombs and grenades and little lanterns that float, and if they touch anything, they go kablooey. And that's the great thing about our classes too, by the way. You can be an Inventor and do dual pistols. You can be an Officer and do dual pistols. Whatever weapons you put in your hand, those are the weapons you use. There's no skills for the weapons, really. Your player attributes will affect your weapons. So, the classes are really awesome like that. All of the skills actually use physical items to use as well. And I like the Inventor myself because, blow stuff up.
Yeah, definitely.
I go a lot of fire, like fire mines and fire rockets and fire sticky grenades and just fire. That's me with a sword and a pistol, which, that's epic too, as far as I'm considered. So
Definitely.
but the astrographer and the animist, I can't talk about them, but they will be around eventually, and trust me, you'll like them.
Awesome. So the weapons. So you can craft things in this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what can you craft?
Well, all of your weapons and all of your armor you can craft, and we have a really robust crafting system. And where, I mean, literally, you can, like, if we talk about making a pistol, you can say what type of handle you want, what type of firing mechanism you want, and then what type of barrel you want, and then you can say what material those things are made out of. And yeah, we really, really like that. So I like to use a material in the game called Ebonite, which is just very expensive. Joys of dev cheats,
Oh yeah.
But we wanted a lot more choice, where it's not about, oh yay, tier 14.5 armor today, and then tomorrow tier 15 armor. It's about, this is the armor I want to wear, and this is what I want it made out of, and this is what I want to look like, and then there you have it. Now, sure, there are armors that are just naturally better, because, if you're wearing a snakeskin jerkin and old dude next to you has got a full plate mail, one's going to provide a little bit more protection than one does. But also, the weight of the materials affects your movement, just like you would expect. So if you're wearing giant freaking plate mail, you're not going to be catapulting all around the battlefield. So, but yeah, you can craft everything. And even with the armor, we have specific coloring and cloth where you can say, okay, I want to make pink plate mail, and I want the cloth in between the plate mail to be pink. And you can do that if you want to. So, and you can buy and from the shops and everything else. And we just think we have a really robust, awesome crafting system that if we want to, we can do more with.
So besides actually buying the resources to create the things, I know you don't actually go out and, you don't chop it down a tree to get wood or something like that. So how would you get the resources other than, buying them?
The best way, in my opinion, for an RPG, treasure chests.
Treasure chests.
Yeah, well, and yeah, treasure chests are one of the ways. I'll let you guys find out how else to get resources. But if you see a treasure chest, my advice to you is open it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's that whole, Zelda thing. Da, 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 da.
I was just going to start saying that.
Bomb. No, I mean, not like that. But, the same thing is like, ooh, treasure chest. Because, I guess we really kind of like that. It's like, ooh, a treasure chest. Let's see what's inside. And yay. Life is like a box of chocolates, that whole thing from Forrest Gump. We really like that. So you open up treasure chest and it just spews stuff out. Of course, and when you kill characters as well, sure, I'll give that out. When you kill the enemy, the Kagall, they're called, they drop stuff too. So but no, you don't go out. I mean, there are plants and stuff lying around the ground that you can grab up too, but that's the two best ways is to kill people and loot treasure chests. I mean, there you have it.
Yeah, definitely. So are there any plans for modding in the game? Because I know it's not there now, but are there any plans for it in the future?
Nothing I can commit to at the moment. However, it's been discussed. And, if we're being honest, from a business perspective, it's a very valid thing. And, from a game design perspective, we want to see what people come up with. Some of our systems are really, I wouldn't say difficult to work with, but they, like how our weapons are designed, because the crafting system allows you, as we went over earlier, the crafting system allows you to, choose, several individual pieces of a weapon and what the materials are made out of. So if you wanted to add a new weapon to the game, you can't just add a sword. You've got to add the blade, you've got to add the hilt, you've got to add the guard, and then if you want to add a material, that takes time as well. And we don't have modding or mod tools at the moment, but it has been discussed. And it's a very valid thing for us to do, and it really does help the community grow and build around the game as well. And of course, as the community manager, that's kind of my thing that I care about, is the community growing.
Right.
So we definitely want to see something like that later down the road. I'm just not quite sure, when or even if at all, but it's not been thrown away, as it's definitely a valid idea that people have asked us about, and we're like, okay, yeah, it's something we need to talk about and discuss and see what we can do and how we can get out proper mod tools and teaching and documentation, and there's a lot to put into modding. So especially when the game that I won't say we weren't designed from the ground up for modding. Our systems can probably allow that. It's just we don't have the documentation, the teaching, and the tools and everything else for people to use. So, But yeah, stay tuned because again, I'll say it, third time, sorry, that we've not thrown it away. It's not just modding whatever. It's okay, we understand it's a very valid thing and we want to take a look at it. So hopefully that answers the question in a very long-winded roundabout way.
Yeah, definitely. Well, at least you're listening to the community.
Yes, we are. Definitely.
So, again, speaking about the community, there is talk about an arena mode or something of that nature?
We do have PvP in the game and arena mode, yes. And the cool thing is later down the road, we might let you design your own arenas.
Oh.
Which I think would be really, really, really awesome.
Yes.
So you can do King of the Hill type of matches. And then, of course, there's the combat trainer, which takes place in the arena. And then there's Last Stand. And then what we call Last Stand Extreme, because it's extreme.
Extreme.
Yeah, it's extreme. So, but yeah, you access the arena through single player when you're in Nexus, and you go to the arena all the way at one side of the city. And if you log in through multiplayer, then you can just say, hey, I want to do arena, and then you can do Last Stand together co-op, or you can do a sort of PvP style match.
So like matchmaking.
Well, not matchmaking. People can just host their own games.
Oh, right.
You can join the game and they can password protect it and invite friends and all that good stuff.
Speaking of the arena mode, is there anything to get the community involved, with that?
Definitely. I've pitched some ideas to the team, and we kind of actually like the idea of doing an esports thing. Thankfully enough, our system with arena does support the addition of cameras and the like, so that people can spectate and kind of look like they're sitting in the stands. And I personally want to do an esports gladiator, Roman gladiator kind of deal, where it's actually seasons and it's prizes in a ladder tournament and broadcast on Twitch TV, and prizes in game, maybe possibly that may or may not be a thing, and possibly prizes out of game. Don't expect that to come to fruition or to be a thing for many months down the road, but it's something I'm talking to the team about, and something I want to do, and something they're all interested in as well, because to me it sounds really cool, like getting it with our type of a combat system, doing a one-on-one gladiator style fight in an arena with people sitting in the stands watching and somebody broadcasting it live on Twitch, two people actually going, fighting each other with pure skill and timing and the like. I think that would be really fun to watch, and you never know, you might get people raising teams and sponsoring people, and who knows what it could be. But from my perspective, dream big or don't bother. So we'll wait and see what happens. It could be a thing, but many months down the road, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, that sounds really fun. I would watch that. I wouldn't compete because I'm not good, but I would watch that.
Hopefully a lot of people would compete and a lot of people would watch, yeah.
Yeah. So getting the game out there to people, what distribution methods have you guys decided on or are trying to push for?
Well, we released on Greenman Gaming the 22nd of this month. So we have been out for a week-ish, business days-wise, 5 business days if you want to call it that.
Right.
And that's going well. And we are on Steam Greenlight. So, vote and help us get more votes and more attention and the like. We would love to go on Steam, but we are dealing with the Greenlight process. So as for anything else, I can't really talk about anything else other than we are on Greenman, and they're great to work with, and we want to go on Steam. Anything else after that, we'll just have to wait and see.
Perfect. Okay, so talking about the future of the game, what is going to be the future of the game? Where do you guys see this going?
Well, we're going to be patching the game to fix bugs and do hot fixes and do some work on the game, but I'm not really sure if I should go into detail or not. But we do have intentions to continue supporting the game later on, throughout the next several months and the like, and who knows what. Speaking of the future, who knows what that holds, but we do have some plans for possibly expansions or DLC. I can't go into what those plans are and what they'll hold and what they'll contain, but we're not done by any stretch of the imagination. I think that we've still got a lot to do. I mean, if you look at the player guide, you'll see there are several continents with several different terrain types. and this world has a nice, rich history to it, and there's a lot we can do. And as I said before, there's still things that we, would like to work on. We'd like to add more things to the character creator. We'd like to add more things to crafting. It's a thing that, it's just an ongoing development process. Of course, the money has to be there.
Right, of course.
But as long as we're, selling the game and people are interested, and we can kind of, quote, afford it. I know the team is, not just, yay, the game's out, bye. So we're not going to do that to you guys at all. It's like, hey, the game's released, we'll see you later, and then just walk off. We do have plans to make the game even better than it already is, and support the multiplayer and support the future of modding, as we talked about, and the community, and continue to upgrade the game and make it look better and perform better, and add more content and just do more things. And I think that's kind of the dream of a lot of game developers, period, and indie devs in particular. Is my guys don't just want to put out one game and then be done with it. They want to put out a game and then craft and love and care about that game and do even more things with it that they might not have had the chance to do during the original development. And of course, when I talk about expansions and DLC, don't worry, we're not hiding stuff from you guys that was like, day one DLC. We're not doing that, and we're not hiding stuff that was already done. And then, hey, by the way, DLC, not a thing. And when we do DLC and expansions and the like, if and when, it will be new content and new stuff, new classes, all kinds of new things, and of course, performance updates and upgrades, and just make the game better. And we'll see where we go from there. To us, the future is bright. We think we have something amazing and unique. And we just kind of, really want to take it to its ultimate, to its fruition, and just make a gaming experience that people care about and they enjoy. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I could say about it without running in circles for an hour and a half. Because it's just the dream of all devs is to, we only had a couple years, and then we got to release the game, and then what do? Well, we keep working on it as long as the game keeps being successful.
Okay, so before we wrap this up, tell me about the amazing people that are working on this game, the team that's bringing us Legends of Aethereus.
Well, the name of the company is 3 Gate Studio, and they are in Sweden, so they're Swedish, and they're based out of Visby, Sweden, which is on Gotland, which is an island.
Oh my.
Yeah, and it's actually like, if I remember correctly, I think it's supposed to be World Heritage listed. It's like a castle city, like an ancient, Swedish castle city type
That's
place.
Awesome.
I have not been yet. I want to go because, Vikings.
Sweden, yeah.
Not really Vikings, of course, but Thorblot, but then that's Greenland or Iceland. No, that's Iceland, so wrong company. But it's been an amazing time so far, and they're amazing bunch of people to work with. Mr. Don Geyer, the lead game designer. This is definitely a project of love on his part and the part of the entire team. Everybody that's working on the game are artists and programmers and designers and level designers and all that good stuff. These guys have put many years of hard work into this project, and they're a really great team to work with. So hopefully we've made something people enjoy, and I really think that this team deserves quite a lot of recognition. So if you guys do get to the main website, be sure and stop by and say hi and thanks to the devs. If you like the game, you like the product, be sure and thank them for all the hard work they've done to bring it to fruition, and all the hard work they're going to keep doing for you. So team is great. I love the team, and I love working with them, and I hope we get to do it forever.
Definitely, that's the indie dream, huh?
Yes, it is. Yeah, make games forever. That's definitely the dream. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess, is there any last closing words that you'd like to say about the game or anything?
Just what we went over earlier. Make sure you guys vote us up on Greenlight. Spread the word and get involved. Get in that multiplayer, and just take a look at us on Green Man Gaming. Come to the forums, say hi. If you've got questions, if you're interested in in the game and not quite sure if you want to buy it or not, you should, as far as I'm concerned. You know. But come to the forums and say hi and ask you questions, and I will do my best to answer them as best as I possibly can. And we have a great community so far that's growing very, very rapidly. So, as I'm sure Ryan will have in the description below, join us on our social media as well, because I do Twitch live streams on Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and sometimes I have the devs, sometimes I don't. So all that stuff. Join us on the social media, the community, the forums, YouTube, and come watch us, kill things on Twitch. And that's about it. Thanks for having me.
All right, yeah, thank you for being here and telling me about Legends of Aethereus.
You're welcome, Ryan. Thank you.
All right. Now, Legend of Aethereus is on Steam Greenlight, so vote that up. Link will be in the description. And it's also on Green Man Gaming, so the link will be in the description to buy that. So, yeah, I'd like to thank you again, Anthony, and I hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.